The Jedi Order. Over the past few weeks, I have gained a ton of new subscribers. These new subscribers sometimes don't agree with my videos, and that's okay. Ever since Star Wars has been out, I've always disliked the Jedi and its order. I think they are a group of hypocritical, warmongering people that are no better than the Sith. They're the iconic peacekeepers of the galaxy, wielding lightsabers and the mystical powers of the Force. For thousands of years, they were viewed as paragons of wisdom, justice, and selflessness. If you grew up watching the Star Wars saga, you probably idolized them, just like I did at one point. Who wouldn't want to be one? The robes, the lightsabers, the ability to move things with your mind, it all seems so noble, so cool. But when you take a closer look at the Jedi Order, not the individual Jedi we love, but the institution itself, you start to see some cracks in their glowing facade, their rules, rigid and sometimes downright cruel, their philosophies, often hypocritical and, ironically, completely out of balance, their decisions. Well, let's just say their judgment calls have led to more galactic disasters than victories. Here's the thing. I don't hate the Jedi as individuals. Obi-Wan Kenobi, an absolute legend. Yoda, a walking fortune cookie full of wisdom. Ahsoka Tano, don't even get me started. She's the definition of character growth and self-awareness. But the Order, the organization they served, with its strict codes, dogmatic rules, and refusal to adapt, that's where my frustration lies. What I want to explore today is why the Jedi Order fell. Not just because of the Sith or the rise of the Empire, but because of its own internal flaws. From their emotionally stunted teachings to their overreach in politics, the Jedi Order made mistake after mistake, often failing to live up to their own ideals. It's not just that the Jedi Order collapsed, it's that their collapse was inevitable. So, whether you're a Jedi superfan or someone who's skeptical of their legacy, stick with me. Today, I'm breaking down the 6 major reasons why the Jedi Order wasn't the shining beacon of hope they pretended to be. By the end of this, you might just see the Jedi Order in a whole new light, or maybe even a whole new shade of grey. Before we jump in, only 2% of you watching right now are subscribed. That means most of you are enjoying the content without being part of the community yet. If you're loving what you see and don't want to miss out, why not hit that subscribe button? It's completely free, takes just a second, and helps the channel grow, so I can keep bringing you more of the content you love. Now, let's continue this video. Okay, let's start with the elephant in the room. The Jedi Code's no attachment rule. On paper, it sounds like it's about avoiding unhealthy obsessions. But in reality, it's just emotional repression disguised as wisdom. The Jedi are basically saying, hey, love is dangerous, so just don't feel anything. Yeah, because bottling up your emotions has never caused problems, right? Let's take Anakin as the ultimate example here. This guy had serious emotional baggage, losing his mum, falling in love with the fear of losing her. But instead of helping him deal with those emotions, the Jedi were like, feelings. Oh, just meditate harder, bro. That's like telling someone with depression to just go outside and touch grass. Did they really think ignoring his trauma would end well? Spoiler alert, it didn't. Anakin's emotional repression literally tore the galaxy apart. Here's the thing. Attachment isn't inherently bad. It's human, or, well, sentient. Love, connection, grief, they're part of what makes life meaningful. By forcing their members to suppress all of that, the Jedi weren't creating peace. They were creating ticking time bombs. How are you supposed to protect the galaxy when you don't even know how to deal with basic emotions? That's like hiring a firefighter who's scared of water. The Jedi Order's whole mission is to bring balance to the Force. But let's be honest, their idea of balance is like someone who thinks a diet means eating 1 vegetable and then 3 donuts. They say they want balance, but their entire philosophy is about eradicating the dark side. How is that balance? Imagine a scale with light on one side and dark on the other. Now imagine someone yeeting the dark side off the scale entirely. Congratulations, you've achieved imbalance. The Sith are obviously terrible. Nobody's defending Palpatine here. But the Jedi's obsession with wiping them out is just as problematic. You can't have light without dark. The Force isn't about good versus evil. It's about harmony, duality. But they see everything as black and white, no nuance. And let's talk about the prophecy of the Chosen One. He will bring balance to the Force. Oh, cool. So what do the Jedi do? They take the kid, shove him into their restrictive order, and then act shocked when he tips the scale the other way. Newsflash. Maybe the Chosen One was never supposed to be a Jedi or a Sith. Maybe he was supposed to be something new, something that actually understands balance. But nah, the Jedi had to Jedi it up, and look where that got us. Order 66. For an order that claims to be above politics, the Jedi sure do love meddling in politics. They're supposed to be peacekeepers, right? Neutral guardians of justice. But then you see them sitting in the Republic Senate, like it's the Jedi Chamber of Commerce. They're out here leading armies, influencing laws, and basically playing space politicians. Let me ask you this. How is the Jedi Council any different from the Senate? They're a group of elites in fancy robes who make decisions for everyone else, and half the time, those decisions are terrible. For example, the Clone Wars. The Jedi jumped into that conflict without even questioning the ethics of using an army of genetically engineered soldiers. Soldiers who, by the way, were created to die for them. Did the Jedi ever stop to think, maybe we're being manipulated here. Maybe this war is a trap? No, they just grabbed their lightsabers and went, this is fine. And then, when the clones inevitably turned on them, they acted all surprised. Guys, you literally walked into a war orchestrated by a Sith Lord. Maybe if you spent less time politicking and more time actually listening to the Force, you'd have seen it coming. Let's talk about how the Jedi recruit their members. They don't wait for people to show interest or consent to their philosophy. Nope, they find Force-sensitive toddlers, scoop them up, and say, congrats, you're a Jedi now. Imagine being a parent and some space monk just shows up and says, hey, your kid moved a rock with their mind. We're taking them to Coruscant. Bye. And once the kids are in, it's not like they get a normal education. No math class, no art, no recess. It's all meditation, sparring, and learning to suppress their emotions. Oh, and let's not forget the part where they hand a literal child a lightsaber and say, okay, go fight those droids. Don't die. Jedi training is basically one long survival course, and if you fail, you don't get expelled, you get killed. Also, can we talk about how little room there is for individuality? Everyone wears the same beige robes, follows the same rules, learns the same cryptic teachings from Yoda. It's like a space cult with homework. If you don't conform, well then you're flirting with the dark side, aren't you? There's no middle ground. It's either perfect Jedi or evil Sith. There's no room for personal growth, no room to ask questions. Just do as we say, or you're a threat to the galaxy. The Jedi love to act like they're morally superior, but their actions say otherwise. Take their approach to the Sith. Instead of trying to understand or rehabilitate them, the Jedi just wipe them out. Oh, you've embraced the dark side. Guess we have to kill you now. Nothing personal. That's not justice. That's a Jedi-sanctioned hit list. And then there's their arrogance. The Jedi think they're the ultimate authority on the Force, like they've got a monopoly on wisdom. But the Force is bigger than the Jedi, bigger than their narrow worldview. Just look at characters like Qui-Gon Jinn or Ahsoka Tano. They realized the Order was flawed, that the Jedi weren't the be-all and end-all of the Force. And what happened to them? Qui-Gon got ignored, and Ahsoka got ostracized. The Jedi don't like it when you point out their flaws. They just cling to their dogma and call it wisdom. Honestly, their arrogance is what led to their downfall. They were so sure they were untouchable, so blind to their own failings, that they didn't even see the Sith taking over right under their noses. Palpatine didn't destroy the Jedi. The Jedi destroyed themselves. At the end of the day, the Jedi Order's rigid structure and outdated philosophy were doomed to fail. They tried to enforce a one-size-fits-all approach to the Force, ignoring the complexity and diversity of the galaxy. They rejected change, clung to tradition, and isolated themselves from the very people they claimed to protect. The truth is, the Jedi Order wasn't sustainable. It was an institution built on fear. Fear of the dark side, fear of attachment, fear of change. And fear is what leads to the very thing they were trying to avoid: conflict. The galaxy doesn't need an order that suppresses individuality and ignores the complexities of morality. It needs something new, something that embraces balance without resorting to extremes. So, yeah, the Jedi had their moments, but as an institution, they were deeply flawed. And honestly, the galaxy is better off without them. So, we've pulled back the curtain on the Jedi Order and taken a hard look at what was really going on behind those temple walls. Sure, they had their moments of greatness, and yes, some individual Jedi were incredible, selfless heroes. But as an institution, the Jedi Order was flawed to its core. They prided themselves on their discipline and detachment, but what they really practiced was emotional repression, telling their members to deny their humanity. They claimed to be the ultimate guardians of peace, yet they jumped headfirst into wars without questioning the bigger picture. They talked endlessly about balance, but their very philosophy rejected balance, treating the dark side as something to be eradicated rather than understood. And let's not forget their arrogance. The Jedi believed they were the ultimate authority on the Force, as if they alone could decide what was right or wrong for the galaxy. But the Force is bigger than the Jedi. It's bigger than light and dark. The truth is, the Jedi Order was so rigid, so focused on their own narrow view of the universe, that they couldn't see the flaws in their own system. And in the end, that arrogance is what allowed Palpatine to play them like a galactic chessboard. Their downfall wasn't just a result of Sith manipulation, it was their own doing. Their refusal to adapt, to question their rules, to embrace change, sealed their fate. The Jedi Order didn't just fall because of the Sith. They fell because they clung to an outdated philosophy in a galaxy that was evolving around them. So what's the takeaway here? Maybe the Jedi were never meant to be the galaxy's saviors. Maybe it's time for something new. Something that doesn't divide the Force into light and dark, but embraces its complexity. A philosophy that doesn't demand total detachment, but instead teaches balance. True balance between emotion and reason, individuality and unity, light and dark. Now, I'll leave you with this. Was the Jedi Order really the noble institution we've always been told it was? Or were they just another flawed system, destined to collapse under their own contradictions? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's keep this conversation going, because the only way to really understand the Force, or anything, is to question it. And whether you're a die-hard Jedi fan, a Sith sympathizer, or somewhere in the grey middle, may the Force be with you, and may you never let outdated rules stop you from living your truth. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you're enjoying the content and want to see more, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay updated on future uploads. Your support means the world to me. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, you can use the Super Thanks feature to help keep the channel going strong. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps me create better content for you. Thanks for being part of this amazing community.